Episode 1, Why I Created Burden of History. My story. My truth. I would like to introduce you to Burden of History, the podcast where we uncover the stories they tried to erase. I'm Dr. Rose, and each week we reclaim the truth with courage, care, and just enough humor to carry us through. This isn't the history you learned in school. This is the truth, unfiltered, unapologetic, and ours. So let's begin. You might want to grab a cup of coffee or something stronger before we start. Author's note: this episode is personal. It's not just about history, it's about my own lived experience. I share it not for sympathy, but for context. Because the burden of history didn't just fall on the backs of our ancestors, it still shows up today. And I carry it too. People often ask me why I created Burden of History, why I chose to dig into stories so heavy, so painful, so often ignored. The answer is simple: because I lived it, and because I refuse to stay silent. I'm Dr. Rose. I've led hospital teams, earned advanced degrees, and built a career. But none of that has ever protected me from being treated differently because I'm Black. I've been called the N-word in classrooms and at work. At a gas station in West Texas, I was told, "We don't have bathrooms for people like you." I wanted to stay and argue with the racist man. Then I remember watching the movie Roots, and I did not want to be Kunta Kinte. Oh Lord, my parents would have never found my body. At Neiman Marcus, I was asked if I had emptied the bottle of perfume before returning it, even though I had my receipt and the same credit card I used to purchase it. She still asked me how I could afford it, and on Thanksgiving, a colleague invited me to her home, then asked me to eat alone on the patio. She said it was because her son doesn't like people of color. Of course, I picked up my beautiful Black self and left her house. These moments didn't destroy me. They shaped me. They gave me purpose. Burden of History was born from that silence. It was born the day I realized that telling the truth, even if it's uncomfortable, is the most powerful thing we can do. It was born from knowing that if I didn't tell these stories, someone else would rewrite them. Or worse, erase them altogether. This podcast is my offering. It's my resistance. It's my way of saying we were here, we are here. And our stories matter. So yes, you'll hear about slavery and injustice and pain, but you'll also hear about brilliance, about survival, about humor, about the ways we've always found to hold on to joy, even when they tried to take everything else. Because our history is not just a burden, it's also a torch. And I plan to carry it boldly, truthfully, and out loud. Thank you for listening to Burden of History, the podcast. If this episode spoke to you, I ask you to follow, not just the podcast, but the truth. Subscribe on Spotify, Apple, or YouTube. And please share this with someone who needs to hear it. We're just getting started, and I'm so glad you're here.